Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Distend, verb, distended, distension, to swell and become large. Dilate, expand, swell, enlarge. Rueful, adjective, ruefully, ruefulness, causing sorrow or pity, pitiable, mournful, contrite, remorseful. The carriage flipped over, and the poor old nag lay lifeless on the ground. Its body seemed to distend, its muscles to melt. I would feel space distend, and a cry of panic scratch at my throat. She has some circulatory and fluid retention problems that distend her ankles and age her. I grip the muscle around the wound to distend the punctures. If we can invert her, gravity will distend the neck vein so I can get a line into the jugular. Air or carbon dioxide is insufflated via the rectal tube to distend the colon and render it translucent. In our initial 5 cases, we use air to distend the duct and use a 0.4 millimeter endoscope. Tessa remembers shouting, feeling her face distend with anger, but try as she might, she could not remember what the argument had been about. As she pulled one of the curtains down the sidewalk, it began to distend, like a cell dividing, opening and then inexorably spilling his clothes onto the pavement. Why do connoisseurs of wines close their mouths and distend their chins for a few seconds when tasting wines? The distended belly button also may refer to an umbilical hernia. Fermenting with a lactic acid starter culture lowers the level of complex carbs in legumes, which means less abdominal distension and flatulence. She shall overflow with rueful tears, and shall fill the island with her dreadful cry. He is more rueful and defeatist, his world view darker and less fantastical. The adjutant even permitted himself a rueful grin, just as the office door itself opened and the CO strode in. This morning the habitual twinkling of his eye and rueful grin were missing, replaced by the slightest of frowns. He drew a rueful face, contemplating the place where she had been. "Got no more," was the rueful answer, with an accordant shake of the head. She laughs ruefully as she recalls that a while ago one male inmate taught her a new vocabulary word. Today, as she tends her garden in a retirement community, Brewer considers her glamorous past with a mix of ruefulness and pride.